Hey everybody, it's Carrie Oberbrunner, and I have with me my friend Doreen. And Doreen, you are one of our unhackable coaches. How you doing today?
I am great. Thanks for having me. This is
Oh,
so exciting.
it is, it is. And I'll tell you what, I'm outside here enjoying the amazing fall weather here. It's beautiful, but let's jump right in and talk a little bit about you and what you're doing with the unhackable message, because I know that each person who's an unhackable coach is kind of doing a different thing. What's up with you? What's up with your business?
So, I want to empower moms to become unhack- unhackable so that they can empower their teenagers to be emotionally competent, unhackable world changers, because that is what we need right now.
That is so true. Wow. So, and in fact, Danielle just said yay. So that's super cool. Let's jump in and say, tell us a little bit about yourself. Why did you start with that passion?
Well, personally, as a teenager,
Mhm.
I needed help.
Okay.
And people were not present to help me, whether they be teachers or parents. And I really was passionate about helping moms become present for their teens. And all of the social media and tech right now is robbing parents of presence. It's robbing them of giving their teenagers the time and attention that they need.
So true.
Yeah,
So you read the book.
I did.
What about the book do you believe helps people with this topic?
I absolutely love the idea of the fact that I was constantly being hacked myself and
Yes.
distracted, a constant state of distraction. And this book clearly gives you a path to overcoming those distractions and really accomplishing your dreams and being present for those who need you. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
So what do you think about the whole concept that young people, especially the self-image thing, that 58% of plastic surgeons have been told in the last 12 months that they want, by a teenager, that they want them to make them look like their Snapchat filter. Can you imagine the type of pressures that teens have today that you and I never had to?
Exactly. It breaks my heart. And I just want to help parents to understand that technology is not going away. These things are not going away, but we need to learn how to manage them. And the Unhackable book has certainly helped figure out a path to that end game, right? We
Yeah.
need to get to a place where we know how to manage technology and not allow it to manage and control us.
Oh, that's so good. I love that. So, where are you located?
I'm in New Jersey, and
Okay, so
yeah.
wow, so you're in New Jersey, and basically, what if people say I want to work with Doreen? What would they do?
Oh, they can look at either unhackablemoms.com or becoming unhackable.
That is so good. Unhackable moms. So, what's your big vision? I know that right now, I'm just going to say it, whether people are Republicans, Democrats, or anywhere in between, we have a society right now that for the last 7 days has pretty much been hacked. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes,
mean, even the whole world. Like you look around at online, and other countries have been waiting to see what we would do. So it's
yes,
kind of like the whole world is being hacked and will be hacked. It's not like, oh, in a month this is going to go away, or 5 months. There's always something new with technology and always the latest topic. So unless we get this thing figured out, we're in trouble, don't you think?
absolutely. I mean, we need to train our teenagers to become the kind of people who know how to communicate with gentleness and respect and can work together with others using technology as a tool to lead others instead of being led to this constant place of hack attack where nothing is getting accomplished. It's kind of like my Apple computer is old, and the people at Apple told me I've got a dinosaur. And every time I try and click a window, it goes round and round and round and round and round and round. The wheel just keeps spinning. And that's
Wow.
what people who are hacked are going through. You're just spinning around and round. And I want to help parents equip their teens to just launch and be productive world changers. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you are on it. Elise just said, I'm using Unhackable to help my 11 children. I will also be adding all that I am learning as I read Unhackable to my passion with foster children. So this is the cool thing, you know. And by the way, I wanted to sit by this tree because it literally looks like it's on fire. I mean, it's beautiful out here.
Beautiful.
So this message is really for everybody. It's not just for young people. It's for churches. It's for sports teams. We even have heard that there might be a NCAA college team who's going to start using this for their sports team because they want their athletes not to be hacked. So why do you think now more than ever this is the right message for 2020?
Because research has backed up exactly this whole neuroscience approach to becoming unhackable. It is science, and it is true. And we have tons of research now to see the effects on our teenagers, and anxiety, depression, and all kinds of things such as suicide and cutting have increased. And we really need to take advantage of not only the tools that we have at our fingertips, but the research to help our teens learn how to cope in this society right now.
Absolutely. You know, moms are so important. I mean, I'm a dad of 3 kids, and I get it. You know, I love my kids, and I know some dads are maybe the go-to parent, but in our family, I just see how my wife has such a way with our kids.
Yeah.
And you can imagine that if a mom gets hacked, it could literally affect generations.
Yes.
Let's talk about your passion a little bit, because you are talking about the teens, but it really has to start with the moms too, don't you think?
Yes, because a life of distraction, as you wrote in your book, never produces a life of meaning, right?
Ooh, that's
So
good.
if we are living distracted lives as moms, we are not really doing the equipping and the empowering that we need to be doing. So the first step is for moms to become unhackable so that they can leave a legacy, as you said in your book, where your attention goes, your legacy flows. Right. And so we want to be able to leave a legacy for our kids. We want them to be changers. Yeah.
That is so good. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask, everyone's been blowing up the feed here. Thank you for doing that. We have unhackablemoms.com and becomingunhackable.com. I'm going to ask everyone to tag a mom, tag someone and tell that mom, you know what, you're worth it and you need to be equipped, because I think a lot of moms feel it, but they just don't know what productive action steps to take. And Doreen is a coach who's certified on the Unhackable message.
Yes.
She'll help you out.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Awesome. Well, I'm so glad you're one of our coaches. And listen, things are so relevant, this message. Did you look in the Unhackable Coach Facebook group about that new report that I just posted with all kinds of data?
Oh, I'm going to pull that up. I did
Yeah,
not
pull that one up, because somebody shared that with me. Is once people's minds are open, they're like, oh, I see it everywhere. But there's a report that just came out about focus.
Ooh.
And check that out, okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, you take care. Awesome. Great coach there. We have another great one here, Carrie. How you doing, Carrie? Hey, fix your audio 1 second. It could just be me. Try to fix your audio. It's all good.
It wasn't just you. I had myself on mute.
Now you're good. Now you're good. Hey, we got people tagging moms. Now, who should we tag? Because I know that each coach is different. Each coach has a different unhackable passion. What is your unhackable passion?
Well, I actually purchased 3 unhackable URLs. What the Unhackable Leadership, Unhackable Project Manager, and Unhackable Career Quest. So I'm actually today, you probably can see my easel board in the back. I'm actually teaching a PMP exam prep class today for North Carolina State University here in Raleigh, North Carolina, where I live. And so I've got my students online. We're at lunch right now. But I work with project managers, which are also leaders, right? And, project managers, the main role of a project manager is to institute change. And it's to create value for organizations, and it's to solve problems. And if they get hacked, which they do often, if they don't, for example, if they have a change process in place and they don't follow their own change process, their project gets hacked and the scope of their project blows up and the costs exceed their budget, and they don't meet their time commitments and so forth. So they're getting hacked all the time. But I think the messages, whether it's an individual, like somebody looking for a job on the career piece of it, or a project manager or a leader, whatever, a lot of times that we don't realize that the main person that's hacking us is us.
Yes.
And I tell project managers all the time, that go, well, we have scope creep on our projects, and it's and I said, well, whose fault is that? And they'll say, well, it's the project sponsors, it's the customer's fault, it's this, it's that, and they blame it on everybody. And then I say, well, who's the main person at fault here? And they never seem to see it. And I'm like, it's you, it's the project because you have a process in place to manage scope change, and yet you don't do it. You don't follow your own process. So you're actually allowing yourself to be hacked. And then we blame it on someone else, right?
Absolutely. That is so true. And this is a message today that is not popular, because most people want to say, oh, it's Biden, it's Trump who hacked me, it's the economy who hacked me. Like, everyone wants to say it's somebody else. But when I look in the mirror and say, you know what? Dang it. It's me. I just got hacked. But I'll tell you what, there's good news. Why is that good news that it's not someone else or something else that's hacking us? Why is that actually positive news?
It's positive news because the only person you can control is yourself.
Oh, I love that. She got it. That is so true. So it actually is it's discouraging for a moment. But once you realize, you know what, but I have full control over my attention, my focus, my flow, then you have hope. So what have you seen? What have you seen with this message, and what do you hope to do with it?
Well, I hope to, again, staying with the project managers and leadership piece of it, but also the career piece of it. And I've been working with a couple of folks who are really have struggled in their career and struggle in that. And, one of the things I tell people when they lose their job, that we have to continue to focus on continuous development, right? And a lot of folks lose their job and they have a hard time finding something else because they haven't focused on, how do I remain marketable, right? Mm-hmm. So it's understanding that, what you do moving forward and the decisions that you make will determine your future, right?
Wow.
Making decisions to say professional development is important for me, that I need to put my focus in an area that will help me grow so that I can't be hacked next time. Even if somebody lays me off, I've got these folks that are taking the PMP exam right now.
Yeah. You're all good.
That are in my class. I thought I had that on silent mode, that are in my class. Part of the reason they're taking this is because they know that with that project management certification, everybody does projects. Everybody, every industry. I don't care whether it's, hotel, motel, food services, IT sector, whatever, everybody does it. And I said, if you get this certification, you have a skill set and a certification that can take you anywhere. If you've got the certification, but you've got good people skills. And so your chances of finding another job as you move forward are much greater because you created this unhackability about yourself. And that's why I call it the Unhackable Career Quest.
That is so good. So people literally can become hacked with self-limiting beliefs, thinking, who will hire me? There's no jobs out there, blah, blah, blah. They can literally get hacked mentally. But you're saying that through Unhackable Project Career Quest?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No,
Unhackable. Well, I have Unhackable Project Manager, but Unhackable Career Quest.
UnhackableCareerQuest.com. People can find out how to essentially become unhackable. And in former generations, we would say bulletproof.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but today weapons aren't oftentimes bullets.
Yeah.
They're hacking. Mm-hmm. And I mean, listen, Carrie, I get it, because I'm just going to talk about something here. My watch beeps, my phone buzzes, my email notifies. Like, I want people to realize this. You can have the best intentions in life. I don't know anyone who wakes up and says, today I want to be hacked.
Yeah.
You know, but we all wake up thinking, here's my dream, here's my goal. But I love what you're saying, Carrie. You literally need to take on the mindset of unhackable. Now, you're a professor. Are you teaching in schools?
Well, I wouldn't call myself a professor, but I am a certified project management professional. I've been teaching project management courses for over 2 decades now. So
wow. I love it.
All around the world, major corporations, but also I'm working with NC State University here. But you know, when I tell you something else I told my folks today is when these folks are all trying to be certified before the end of the year, because they're changing the exam on January 2nd. I said, you know, here's a time when they really need to focus on being unhackable, because I said, you're going to have to say a lot of no's between now and the end of the year, because you got Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up, major distractions, right? And obviously with the coronavirus, in fact, one of the ladies in my class, her daughter's a junior at NC State, and she has the virus, and she's at home sick right now.
Wow.
Her roommate had it and didn't tell her, and so she has it. But you know, there's not going to be as many Christmas parties going on this year, so that helped a little bit. But I said, if you want to pass this exam, which is a 4-hour exam, 200-question exam, between now and the end of the year, you need to really learn to be unhackable and really keep your focus and flow going, right?
That is so good.
You can pass this exam, because they don't want to have to do it next year, because the everything changes January 2nd to new material, new exam, and they'll have to start over. So,
but I love what you're saying, because in the book, you know, we talk about focus filters, and some of those focus filters, you just nailed it with your coaching here. You just said urgency, January 2nd. You said agency, meaning you have to say no. And you talked about energy, which is the fact that they have limited energy. So folks, Carrie just dropped gold for you, which is the 3 focus filters found in Unhackable: urgency, agency, and energy. Let's face it, Carrie, if there was no deadline, if the test wasn't going to change, would they ever study? Would they ever finish?
Well, you know, if the test wasn't changing at the end of the year, when folks registered for the exam, when I took the exam 20 years ago, we had 3 months. So it was a very tight. Now they've extended it to a year. From the time you register, you got a year to take the exam, because the testing centers couldn't handle everybody. But the problem is that I found most people, when they have a year to take the exam, they wait till the very end, and then they start.
So true.
You know?
So true. We call that Parkinsons Law in Unhackable book, about how the longer the amount of time you have to work on something, the more complex the task becomes.
Yep.
Right? Like in our minds, we just start grinding on it, and we actually hack ourselves. Carrie, people are saying, thank you, absolute gold. They're saying, so good. Carolyn says, I have to say a lot of no's between now and the end of the year. So again, where can people find out? And I'm going to put it right here in the link.
So I see Michael's put some stuff, unhackableLeadership.com, unhackableprojectmanager.com, and Michael, you spelled that project manager. So, and unhackablecareerquest.com. So
love it. We're so glad you're certified with us. Big things are happening for all the coaches. In fact, Wednesday, we have a teaching that we're going to do where 4 of the coaches are going to share, here's what we're doing and here's what's working. So thank you so much, Carrie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
See ya. What a cool soul on fire there. Hey, Lynn, weren't those both awesome, Doreen and Carrie?
Oh, and a fabulous lead up to hopefully to what we're going to talk about.
Well, let's talk about it. Tell us what your passion is with the Unhackable message.
The Unhackable it fits just right in with everything I'm doing. My passion is to move the kingdom of God forward on earth. And I do that by working with other leaders who feel called. So they're already working with audiences in that. So I guess you could say that my niche is both professional, getting people really clarified with their mission, getting them able to go forward and committed and taking the next step. But if you were to really put it in an overarching phrase, it would be I deal with spiritual hacking.
Oh my gosh. Spiritual hacking. I love that. Ooh, that's big. Do you remember that book many, many years ago? It came out when I was a teenager or something like that. But was it This Present Darkness or Piercing the Darkness or something like that? Did you ever hear about that?
Piercing the Darkness.
Yeah, okay. But it was all about how the spiritual side of life, the unseen, is still very real. How do you believe that shows up in our lives?
Oh, the original hack attack occurred in Genesis 3. Now, I know not everybody's going to be into this, which is why I just kind of like declared myself up. I work with faith people in a 100% Christian space. So that's where the original hack took place. And what we find is, you and Carrie were talking about it just a minute ago, we don't always understand that the block is within us. And so, I mean, what is the goal of the enemy if you're working in a Christian space? Well, the goal is to deceive us, to delude us, to convince us that we really didn't hear the call that God gave us, or to tell us you can't do it. But Unhackable, the EPX program, this is what it's a system for making people able to do what God's unique vision and purpose is for them on earth.
That is so good. Well, tell us a couple places where people can find you. Where are you online?
Unhackablevision.com and also lynnbaber.com. And I have 9 unhackable URLs. So I also have just a few other ones are Unhackable Christian Coaches, Unhackable Leader Coaches, Unhackable Spirit, and Unhackable Truth. So you can kind of see with those coaching ones that there's a process going forward, because part of my overall goal is to bring others into this movement.
Oh, that's so good.
So that they do the same thing, and it just is exponential.
Well, Michelle just popped up on the screen, and she echoes what you're doing, meaning building a coaching team. I think you and maybe even her, I don't know, Mike, my assistant, who's awesome, he's recruited a few people to teach on Wednesday night. Aren't you going to teach?
Yes.
So I took a survey of our coaches recently, and again, everyone's at a different spot in life. It's totally cool. But I said, what do you need to build the coaching business for you? And I said, everything, something, or nothing, meaning like, hey, I'm taking action. You're one of the people who said, I'm taking action. What is some of the success you're starting to see and some of the action you're starting to take with the Unhackable message?
Well, just, I believe it's all a God thing, that we're called, and Unhackable just came along. And I think I've said this to you before. There are certain things I write about and I speak about and I teach on, and I hear you say the exact same things. You quote the same scripture. You use the same phrase. And
Wow.
it was, I can understand what the Holy Spirit is doing here. So it's just part of getting on track. And just like yesterday, for example, we went to a church where the pastor has come on, and we are working together because he's on board with this program. he can see where he can take that forward in his congregation. And
Wow.
he's one of a number, both with inside the organized church and on the outside with different ministries and different leaders. And this is a framework that's going to help bring them together and equip them.
That is so good. I hope Tony Colson can connect with that pastor, because, you know, we even have churches that are now preaching the Unhackable Church. This is so good. I think truth is under attack in our world today. And we even say everything can be hacked, even the truth. But today there's a lot of truth that's being hacked. And you talked about Genesis 3. I mean, don't you think that was the first hack? Was did God really say, you know, when the serpent asks?
Well, Genesis 3 is where truth came under fire the first time, because when that original sin, when that first act happened, what was the result? The result was people then started judging. They then saw themselves and started evaluating. How do I fit into this? How does this benefit me? How can I come out on top here? And what that has done throughout the millennia to where we here today are facing truth. The one thing everybody can agree on is there is no absolute truth. And from my perspective, well, there certainly is an absolute truth. And so I work with the people who confess that truth, but oftentimes because of being spiritually hacked, their idea of what it is isn't quite on target. And that's what keeps them from being successful, because they actually are using the wrong tools.
Wow, this is so good. I want to get a little hint of what you're going to share on Wednesday, because I'll tell you what, Lynn, this whole time I've felt an open hand with this unhackable message, and you've seen that. In other words, for a movement to grow, you can't control it, you can't choke it out. And I said, look, it's time for the coaches to teach each other. So I'm bringing 4 of you on, and you're going to teach each other. Elise is showing up here, and she's saying, this lights up my soul. I gave up Unhackable book. I love to hook them up with somebody. Elise, tell you what, Lynn's a great person. You know, hook them up with Lynn. Here's Lynn's URLs. But give us a tiny hint of what you're going to share on Wednesday night for the Unhackable coaches. We have over 100 of them already.
Probably this, which is the foundation of everything, and that is there are only 2 reasons why you are not successful in everything you want to do. You are either unable to do what needs to be done, or unwilling, or someone else is unable or unwilling. And the unhackable message is something that creates ability. The willingness part is about commitment. It's about action, because the Unhackable coaching program, as you've said, and I've repeated to people, it truly is a business in a box. The ability portion is there unless there's a self-limiting thing that you have to work with.
Wow.
Like, let's look at how you're able. This makes you able if you know what it is you're going for, but then let's look at the commitment and the fact that you have to take action.
That is so good. I love it. Well, Lynn, we're popping up all kinds of links here for you. And of course, if people need to get the book, it's on Amazon. It's on Audible. In fact, Audible's surprisingly blowing up.
Oh, wow.
Because I think people realize they can listen to it anywhere. And there's some bonus training on there as well. And there's even some fun testimonials of real life people getting results. But Lynn, this was fantastic. I know every time I talk with you, you show up filled up. People are saying unwilling, ouch. They get it. Like you brought the hammer today, which in a good way, to say, look, truth is at stake, lives are at stake. We need to have unhackable Christians, leaders, people, you name it. So Lynn, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you,
being
Gary.
here
I
today.
appreciate it.
Hey, we'll be in touch on Wednesday. Sounds great. Awesome. Well, folks, that was amazing. That's just 3 of our 103 plus coaches, and they're all fantastic. I encourage you to go back and look at the links here, because these links are ways that you can follow them. You can get in touch with them if you need a coach, if you need someone to walk you through the program. I realize I can't do that for everybody, and that's why we have coaches, and they're all fantastic. They've been personally trained by me and the content, and this movement is blowing up. So folks, grab the book, unhackablebook.com. Get certified if you're watching this. Share it with your friends, with your leaders, and we need a world that is unhackable. We'll see you very soon. And coaches, I'll see you on Wednesday night for a special training. Take care. Bye.